Hey, toy fans! Welcome back to the Toy Lines podcast. Happy Pie Day to everybody. Hope you're having your pizza. My name is Ian, and with me is my good pal.
I'm Tommy Romero. How's everybody?
Everybody hopefully is doing well and getting vaccinated, playing with their toys. So, new episode, new week. Wandavision ended last week, and we are going to be starting this week on Friday with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which kind of reminds me of that 80s TV show. Was it Scarecrow and Mrs. King? Just the title. I don't know why. I read an article saying how already the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to not be good compared to WandaVision. And I don't think that was a really wise.
Well, it's apples and oranges.
Exactly, because they're two different types of shows. And
yeah, Wanda is more like sitcom type. Whereas
it was.
Whereas Falcon and the Winter Soldier is just
going to be an
flat out be political
action buddy kind of picture as well.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's going to be more akin to Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Right. So I don't really think that. I think they said why it's going to be better and why it's going to be worse. And I'm like, well, what kind of article is this?
No.
You're covering both bases. Either way. Yeah, you'll be right either way. So with WandaVision ending last week, one thing I have to say was that very well written show all around, from episode 1 to episode 9, was it? However many there were.
8 or 9.
Yeah, I really got to say the writers involved in that show did an excellent job to carry everything over from one episode to another. And then you got to think acting wise. You're acting in episode 1, and these things aren't paying off until later on. So it's almost like, in a way, how they did Lord of the Rings, where they filmed 3 films at once. And one day in the morning, you're filming a scene out of the Fellowship. Later on, you might be doing something from Two Towers or Return of the King, and your character, Frodo, for instance, is in a different range of emotions in each of those scenes. And as an actor, you have to get into that mindset, which I can never do because I can't act. But so to carry for these for Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany, especially for Elizabeth Olsen, to carry over these things episode per episode, it really takes a lot. And just for the directors and continuity and all those things to flow, it kind of reminds me of like how the MCU started. And basically with Iron Man, they started it, with that little scene at the end, and they kind of like ping-ponged off each other until it became what it became. And of course, it became a success. But when you really think about it, that had a huge chance of not working out, which is, when you look back on it, you think that's impossible. But when you really think about it, it's actually kind of scary, because it could have flopped major. And the MCU just wouldn't be there what it is today, because they couldn't keep track of all the plot holes. So kudos to them for what they did on WandaVision. Definitely Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany deserve Emmys. A lot of people have been, a lot of love for is it Agnes?
Catherine Hahn.
Yeah, a lot of respect going out to her lately.
I love that scene at the end, and apparently it was huge on iTunes.
Oh, the song
video, yeah.
Yes, and it was funny because when I first saw this, when I watched the episode, and we actually discussed it, I remember saying it's like a cross between the Munsters and the Addams Family, and that's where they got inspired from. Yeah. That trended huge for some reason.
Well, it was a catchy tune. I mean, we all know she was behind it the whole time.
I believe,
especially when she's petting and she's like, "And I killed Sparky too." I literally got up and yelled, "I knew it."
I believe, and I could be wrong. So if anybody, if I'm wrong, please write in. I believe it was the couple who did the songs for Frozen and Avenue Q who did the music for that, or at least that song. 99% sure. I could be wrong. But yeah, great show. I had a friend who just watched, he binged it, and he was blown away. So if you
Yeah, I
haven't,
tried. I have to do it sometime. I have no time this week.
yeah, if you haven't seen it, go ahead and binge it. You don't.
I'm sure it'll make more sense binged.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's you'll pick up on things a lot sooner because you're trying to think back 7 weeks ago. Otherwise,
Well, here's what upset me about it. Everyone's season, oh, we got this humongous guest, and first off, I knew Fantastic Four wasn't coming in because when she mentioned the engineer, I knew it wasn't going to be Reed Richards because Fantastic Four has so much like gravitas that they're not going to just be like, oh, by the way, there's 4 superpowered family out there. So I knew it wasn't going to be that. I had this ridiculous theory that somehow Tony Stark was going to be a part of it, but that's all gone. So they're pretty much misleading us on purpose now, and I'm a little upset over that because why bother?
well,
Same thing with the She-Hulk when they announced that actress, and she's like, "Oh no, I'm not She-Hulk." Then 2 weeks later, oh, by the way, I'm She-Hulk again.
well, I mean,
I understand marketing, but
yeah, like Ewan McGregor knew he was going to be in Obi-Wan or Kenobi a year before they announced the show, and he had to keep quiet about it.
see, that I can understand.
So maybe he was.
But don't mislead us in 1 minute. No, that we don't know where that rumor came from. Then 2 weeks later, oh well, the rumor was true. Yes,
I would like to know who Paul Bettany was referring to as this big guest. It was supposed to be like this huge thing, and
yeah,
I honestly don't know who it was. Was it him as the other Vision? Maybe. I don't know.
And I really thought Doctor Strange was going to show up.
I thought Doctor Strange. Somebody said they were going to have Ultron.
Yeah,
I would have loved to have seen Doctor Strange. That was my hope. And if I had one letdown, it was because I thought he'd be in it, and
but at the same time, I understand why he didn't come in. Yeah. I mean, it's Wanda's story, and it should be Olsen and Bettany's show, so I understand that aspect. But don't just mislead people and be like, oh, we got this humongous guest coming on. You'll never believe it. It's like Luke Skywalker on Mando.
Yeah, it's like, don't go and say it's that level.
Right, exactly.
And the other thing you got to remember about Luke being in The Mandalorian is that we didn't know. That secret never got out for like...
And that's the way they should do it.
Yeah.
But, however, if it somehow does leak out, don't tell us, oh, it's just a rumor. It's not true.
Yeah, I guess they do that because they don't want...
Right, they want it to be... Exactly. But
basically, you just can't tell. Was it Tom Holland?
Yes.
You just don't let him know anything. And he won't... Apparently, they
you know what, though? It's like being in a courtroom. Now, in court, you have to know what to say and what not to say.
Right.
Even if it gets thrown out, it was already said. So especially with a jury trial, that moment will never be erased. Even if the judge says, scrap it.
Strike that from the record.
Right. It was still mentioned. It's still in people's consciousness. They're still going to remember it. Or at least think about it. So things like that, like if it leaks out, all right, we'll get them next time, but don't tell us, no, that's just a rumor. And then all of a sudden it happens.
On the other hand, if they did just go with it, we could be sitting here saying they should have tried to cover it up, and
but
so it's almost like a catch-22. But the other thing is, now with the internet, there's so many leaks or spoilers that are not true that somebody said it's gonna. I remember reading it's gonna be Ultron. I just expected Doctor Strange for no other reason other than that she was going to be in it, in Doctor Strange, and this show will be leading into it. So I'm thinking, oh, he's going to appear at the end or somewhere in it. that's my fault for thinking that. They never said that.
Well, it also depends on what website you use. I mean,
Yeah. So it's like,
because I thought Doctor Strange was going to show up from a reputable website. Now, I don't know if they were part of it. But
yeah, it would have been cool to have seen him. I do look forward to seeing him in that movie. I think Sam Raimi was a great choice as director. And I'm looking forward to it. As far as Falcon and Winter Soldier, they mentioned Doc Strange as well. I don't know if you saw the latest trailer for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a funny little joke about wizards and sorcerers. But I have high hopes for that show. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be action packed. I think they're going to start off probably still hating each other. It's going to be a lot of like that staring contest scene, and it's going to be, I think, in the end, like a buddy comedy action piece, sort of like how Lethal Weapon was. Like two guys don't want to work together, are working together.
Right.
So by the end, I think that's how it'll be. I don't know who said this, but they were saying nothing has been determined as far as for a second season for shows. So even though one season is, so we'll use WandaVision for an example, and I'm not saying there is a sequel, but nothing's not being considered. There's always a possibility for a second season for shows. Which
but where would they take her story though? Now it's in the it's part of the multiverse.
Well, that's the thing. If you can come up with a good story,
but I think it's better just contained.
Right, exactly. And some are going to be like that, like that, or maybe Loki might just work out better as a one series show. Maybe maybe everybody will wind up getting a one series show, and as they bring in new characters into the MCU, they're going to be the new stars of Disney Plus. We don't know, but it's Disney Plus. When you think about the MCU, originally being born, Disney Plus wasn't even a thought, and to now work the streaming service into their concept of the MCU universe and be able to continue telling stories on
well, I think it was just good timing.
Yeah, it worked out very well, and it just you can get more out there. If you don't have Disney Plus and you're a Marvel MCU fanatic, you might want to consider getting it just so you can stay up with it. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming out,
including this.
That's right.
The Hasbro Legends WandaVision, Wanda Maximoff, or the Scarlet Witch now. It is a cool looking figure.
Yeah, it's got the little headgear like in the comic.
Right.
Which looks
they did justice to her outfit.
And it's
now this is based on the concept drawing.
Okay.
So the colors are a little off from what she normally looks like on the TV show.
Right.
But good articulation, I mean, she's part of the MCU Legends. And then from Diamond Select, here's a more accurate Wanda figure, with the colors and stuff.
I don't know how I feel about her face on this one. Can you go back to the other one for a second?
Yeah, this is just like a generic.
Yeah, I was just thinking this face, it looks like a better design or sculpt, but I mean...
Like the Diamond Select looks a little bit more accurate.
You think so? Okay, yeah.
I think so, personally. I mean, it looks... She does look a little bit older, facially.
Right. And as well she should. She's... It's not Civil War at this point. She's, been through quite a bit, so she should be a few years older.
But the Diamond Select one looks really nice.
And do they have a Vision as well?
Of course.
So we have the So this guy confused me.
Now, what's up with these cream highlights? Is that supposed to be shadowing?
I don't know.
They did this on a Black Series figure for Star Wars. Or no, I'm sorry, not Black Series. The Black Widow movie.
I would think
They did the same thing with the cream colors.
on a black painted figure, you're better off doing like a comic book and going blue. Like I used to shadow in the hair blue
Like
for black.
right, the little tint. Yeah.
Like this. See, here's the thing about this character. When they showed him on the show, I thought he was Ultron. I didn't really quite get the deal with him. He looks like he's painted with Prime.
Well, he's the White Vision from the West Coast Avengers series.
Okay, so I never knew that.
Oh,
That's good to know. I didn't know, so I learned something. So when he was battling Vision, it was a good battle. And then they were discussing things at the end where they kind of talked, and Vision touched his, mind, I guess his Mind Stone. Did he transplant himself into him, or?
That's a great question, because I thought the same thing as well.
And then where did he go after their fight? He just left the show.
Well, yeah, that I couldn't figure out either, because I was like, okay, so if he reawoken whatever was in him, so technically he's our Vision, the Vision we've come to know,
just in a different color scheme.
Exactly. So why didn't he go after Wanda?
Exactly. Yes.
I mean, obviously he missed her.
Right.
And so here's
that's okay.
Yeah, that was the White Vision's first appearance, Avengers West Coast 45.
And you know what? Here's Vision Quest. Very clever. Like that movie, the 80s movie. Here's what's pretty cool is I was never really I never read the Avengers growing up. So the fact that they pulled all this stuff and put it in there for the fans who know of it, great Easter eggs. And for people who don't know it, like I didn't know who Agnes was. You mentioned it to me.
Oh yeah, she's
on the show.
Franklin Richards' name.
Yeah, I was like, what? I had no idea who the character was. So it was interesting. I mean, I knew I could pick up some things just from the movies, but a lot of it was, interesting to learn. So, pretty cool. My theory, we shouldn't even be saying theories because we're just going to disappoint ourselves in a way. But so far, Falcon and Winter Soldier has not focused on the new Cap. I mean, you see him once running onto the football field.
That's U.S. Agent.
Yes, so he's a U.S. agent, which I think is great to have been brought in. I think if they're never going to use him,
I'm disappointed with that suit, though. I wanted
it should have been the black one. Yes.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was, after Civil War, that should have been the suit that Cap was wearing. If they were never going to introduce U.S. agent, that would have been a cool way to do it.
Yeah.
But,
because even when Cap was referred to as the captain, he wore that suit. That's where that suit came from.
Okay. So, it would have been nice. Now, the character of U.S. Agent, from what I've read, he's a little bit unstable.
John Walker? Well...
Right. He kind of goes savage at one point, like just kind of...
That was later on, though.
Okay. So
the original John Walker was, a soldier. He a company man.
So I'm thinking, will that happen in this? Will we see that play out? I don't know. I like that we got was it Baron Zemo?
Yep, comic accurate.
Yeah, he's got the mask. And I like how he said in the trailer, he said, my work isn't finished. In the most recent trailer, he's still his plan to get rid of heroes, I guess, is still there. I guess he can't change Bucky anymore because Black Panther and them helped fix his mind.
Right.
But it'll be interesting. Who's the person with the mask? It's like I think it's a woman wearing a mask. It's like a red design on the mask. Have you picked that out?
I have no idea.
Okay. Friday, maybe we'll find out. But yeah, so this coming Friday, today as we record is the 14th. Comes out the 19th on Disney Plus. I think it's going to be a good show.
Yeah.
And here we have Vision from
Hot
Wandavision.
toys.
Hot toys. You will burn yourself
Now
if you touch it.
you were talking about like accuracy. I mean, it doesn't get any more accurate than this. I mean, that is literally Paul Bettany's face.
Yes, I like the cape work on this. How it's flowing and and I'm wondering if that's a solid sculpt or is that fabric.
I'm gonna say solid.
And if it's like what would be cool is if that cape was posable and you can same thing. Well, that looks like fabric.
Yeah.
But great design though.
Well, hers does. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say a nice pose.
I'm wondering. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's wired.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah. These are very nice pictures too.
Yeah, she is really beautiful on this Hot Toys one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what they do with her. There was something online about how they filmed the scene of her reading the book in astral form. So that was kind of neat to see. So
Yeah, that's another thing that, like you mentioned it once before. Doctor Strange did the same thing when he was reading.
Right, he was sleeping when he was reading.
Yeah, I don't get that though. I mean, I understand the reading part and the sleeping part, but she was just having a cup of tea. So I don't.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I can think of, and I have no knowledge of why, but my theory or my thought is, so he was training at the time to become, I guess, the Sorcerer Supreme, and he was trying to get as much knowledge as he can. So that's why he did astral projection to read. So I want to keep calling her Agnes. Agatha said that Wanda is more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme. Mm-hmm. So is that why she's able to do what she's doing? Is project her form and not be in some kind of meditative or a sleeping state? That's just a guess. I don't know. Maybe, we'll see. And maybe she has a touch of evil in her right now. And that's going to be part of her part in...
Well, she said she's still learning. So
right. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll find out whenever the movie comes out, I guess. Which, I don't know when that's coming out, actually. But we'll see.
It's supposed to be Christmas.
Okay. Yeah. I would like to know if they're going to do movie, theater, and streaming on that. Because...
on Disney, they're still not doing it for Black Widow, so I doubt it.
Yeah, but... So they did it for... They didn't do it for Black Widow. They did it for Mulan. They did it for Raya and the Last Dragon. I wonder why they didn't do it for Black Widow. Like,
not Disney. They know they're getting that Marvel movie or Marvel money.
But don't you think they would have got it anyway from people at home?
Maybe, I don't know. There's a huge gap between movie creators that want to see it on the big screen versus home theater. So
yeah, and I kind of get that, but you got to be thinking this movie cost them so much money. They want to earn it back. Just release it. When I was at the movie theater last week, I saw a poster for Ghostbusters. That is, whenever it's coming out this year. I think. Speaking
of which, Hasbro announced the classic Kenner figures. 2 more Ghosts and Ecto 1.
Is it me, or does the Ecto 1 look smaller?
Compared to
when we were kids.
Original?
Yeah.
I don't know the dimensions. I don't think so. I still have mine right here.
Maybe I'm just saying it looking at it as an adult now. When you were a kid, toys look gigantic. That was a cool toy.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And kids are going to love this.
The Toilet Ghost, yes.
The Toilet Ghost.
What is it? He's
I totally forgot about this.
What's his name? Fearsome Flush, which anybody who's been in a public restroom, they've experienced that. And then the other ghost is the
eyeball.
Yeah, Bug Eye. Now, what's interesting is that the Ghostbuster comics, Doug Schoening, sometimes draws these ghosts, this guy in particular, I believe, and another one from the cartoon into the comic. I don't know if that's by the writers choice or by his, but it was kind of see in his panels all the stuff he would put in the background, and there was always like 80s references and things like that. So like the Ghostbusters comic was kind of like an Easter egg of 1980s Bill Murray and
Oh yeah, they gave Winston a whole backstory.
Yeah, they made him which was great. And
and Ernie Hudson did say on another podcast he was interviewed that in Afterlife you actually hear more about Winston's background.
So that's cool.
And what happened to him as well.
Yeah, and that's good because you want to kind of get to learn about him. And I've always felt when you're writing a different character, something you didn't create, you're kind of playing in somebody else's sandbox. It's really difficult to learn a character's voice. And the writers of the Ghostbusters comics has the 4 character personalities nailed down perfectly. So he does such a great job on it. So kudos to them as well.
So here's mine, and maybe no.
I guess it's not bigger after all.
No, yeah, it's comparable.
Yeah, it's got like the same kind of like curves and stuff like that. And this is in really good shape too, Tom.
I had to clean it. I found it in my basement last time I was at my parents' house.
Really?
Yeah, it was all dusty and yellow, so I just took a toothbrush and went at it.
Nice. A little fluoride protection.
I have to put lights on it. That's my next customization because I want to. We have the Mezco figures.
That would be cool.
And I want to make like a scene if I ever find time in this life. Have the lights go on and because all the Mezco figures light up.
Get some LEDs.
Exactly.
And you can just like drill
and
something.
The trunk is great for a battery pack, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, that would be cool. Actually, that's actually a really cool. Now I want to see that. Yeah, that's cool.
So, Classic Ecto 1 will be $49.99 if you can believe that, and it's being released next month in April. Thug Guy and Fearsome Flush will be $14.99, and they're also coming out in April.
Fearsome Flush, what a great name!
What a concept,
right? A haunted toilet.
Like somebody's got some psychological problems. Like life begins at toilet training or something.
I I remember one time I had to go. My parents, they had a plumber. My dad was friends with him, and I had to go drop something off for him at the guy's office. And the plumber had that on his shelf. The little.
Did you really? That's
he
awesome.
Did. And I'm thinking it's a Ghostbusters toy he's got on his. Because it's a toilet, he's a plumber. I get the reference, but I just thought it was a great little thing when I was there. I was like, he's got a toilet.
So check these guys out. These are now from Mondo. They're just animated robotic Spider-Man. Spider-Man Mecha.
So that's just kind of interesting.
I like the black one. I really do.
Yeah.
This one is a little... The blue and red one looks a little weird.
It's a little busy.
It looks more like the punk Spider-Man.
Yes. Yeah, that's funny. I was just thinking that. It is a little busy, this one, because of the colors.
Right.
But
he's got that mohawk, so that's why I automatically went to it.
That's exactly what I thought. It's kind of interesting. They look like they would be very articulate and
30 points.
Okay, so like I'm thinking you can get either great poses for pictures, or any of you guys out there who do stop motion, you're going to get some really great toy stop motion with these guys. These are kind of cool. Can you go back to the black suit?
Mondo does good work.
Yeah,
so the black one will be $170 and $10 less for the blue and red.
Wow. A lot of money.
Yeah, well, it's Mondo. I mean, they're really artists. I mean, these things are art.
here's a question to you: if you were to buy these, would you take them out of the box or not?
That's a great question. The only reason why I wouldn't is just because how cool it is. But most of the stuff Mondo comes out with is in a box, so you need to actually take out the figure just to appreciate it. But
I feel
yeah,
like
I would take it out.
like if I had that money extra, yes, but I feel because of the price, I wouldn't want to take it out.
But you know what? Even though I love Spider-Man, I'm not
You
really into the whole. I don't think he should be a robot.
okay? Yeah, so it's just not one you would normally choose to purchase, which is understandable.
Right.
Um,
Because I purchased my Ninja Turtles from Mondo,
mm,
and they were $100 each, and I took them out of the package as soon as I got them.
right.
But they had such great customization. Like you had two heads and all these weapons, and Leonardo came with Baby Splinter. So
That's cool. So what about the? Did we do this one already? The Kyoto Amazing Yamaguchi Iron Spider from Civil War.
how beautiful is this thing?
Wow, that okay. So $80 and 30 points of articulation. Oh my goodness!
You can come up with some great poses on this.
Now
This is going to look gorgeous on somebody's shelf.
this I would open just because. Look at the possible. Oh my goodness!
How cool is that one? I like it
It's great.
with all the legs shooting out.
Yeah, you can do such great photography and stop motion with this, and he doesn't look very robotic. This is a great pose, by the way.
That's a Mike Turner pose from Civil War.
That's how you would. That's how it should just be. They should make a statue of that. That is nice.
There's a statue of that.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
Wish granted. That is really nice looking. $80. You know, it's a pretty fair price.
Yeah.
And I feel like you get more because of those legs.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. It sounds stupid, but
no. With
really
this
cool
scene, with this scene, the Mike Turner pose. I mean, it looks like it has excellent balance. I mean, you can literally hang the figure off those
3 legs.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't see the stand anywhere in that one.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And even the other ones looked great with the stand. Can you just show those again real quick? I mean, your eyes literally drawn to that figure and not the stand.
Right.
You know,
definitely.
Look at that. I mean, look at this one. It's just like that stand. It was like, oh, it's gonna stand. But like, I mean, it's just so nice. That's a great toy.
Yeah, articulation's the way to go on certain figures.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can have the most beautiful figure. However, if it's missing some parts of articulation, then it's really just a statue. It's a gorgeous statue.
You know, as much as I love the reaction figures, they're not really posable. They got they got like a Kenner figure. You know, their arms can move and their legs can move. And I like them, like I said. But you know, when it comes to like articulation, if you want to do those things in photography and whatnot, you're going to need some form of articulation,
right?
Which wasn't around when we were kids, unless you had Amigo.
Yeah. Now here's something puzzling from the fan community. Loyal subjects just announced these 4 Ninja Turtle figures. They look just like the animated one from Fig Arts.
Okay.
Except they have the same accessories and same heads, but apparently I guess the bodies are different. So I mean, a lot of people are upset that they're just copies.
Right. I guess if
they're more reasonably priced, then I can understand it.
Yeah, you know, that's true.
But I mean, there's really nothing new about these figures.
Right.
Except maybe they may be more affordable.
Well, yeah, and if you miss them, the other ones the first time, here's a chance to get them.
Now let me ask you this.
Yes.
You have these figures. You have all the stuff from NECA, the video game, movie accurate. Do you think Turtles is getting spread a bit too thin now? Like, is it Turtles overload, or can you not have enough Turtles?
No, I think you can never have enough turtles. At least not yet. I think there's the people who collect the cartoon, maybe just strictly that, and then there's the people who collect NECA, and there's the people who collect the Mondo, and you know,
You mean Super 7?
Super
Mondo
7.
only had that one set.
Thank you. Yes, I don't really know the names. I just kind of know the toys. So thank you. Yes. So I think that you can't have enough right now, and it kind of covers different levels of collectors. If I was to get one or to buy a series, I would go for the NECA ones. I really like what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, right now,
and they're everywhere now.
Yeah, so like right now, I'm thinking no. I think it's a good time to be collecting turtles. If it got to the point where every company was putting out a turtle and there was nothing different about them, then I would say yes. Now, if they were putting out,
well, that's what I'm getting at, because these loyal subjects, they're obviously animated Turtles figures, and so if you compared them to NECA's animated figures,
right?
I mean, they're kind of the same, but also different.
Right.
That
makes sense. Again, unless you're a completist, that's another reason. But I would like to see something with the turtles done one day, where they're each a different variety of turtle. Because there's like a snapping turtle, there's the alligator snapping turtle, there's a box turtle.
Mondo did that, and up to an extent, the Rise turtles are the same thing. I think that red scar over Leonardo, he's a snapping turtle of some sort.
I would think more like Raphael should be a snapping turtle, personality wise.
I don't know too much about Rise. I'm just going off the pictures.
Maybe see a sea turtle.
But speaking of NECA, they've released images now of the boxed Turtles in Disguise figures. So I love the box itself, the artwork,
right,
where they're all just hanging out having pizza. I mean, why else would you be a disguised turtle?
Right.
So here's more of the packaging. And then here is all 4 turtles, all clothed, soft goods, next to their adjacent masks.
And I got a couple of pies, a slice, radio, and weapons in assorted hands. Yeah,
see, this is what I mean. I mean, they're the animated figures. They look great.
So
they come with extra heads, which is nice. But then compared to the loyal subjects, but I mean, maybe I'm overstepping, because this is definitely something different.
Well,
because of the soft goods and the guises and stuff.
The masks. Yeah. I think as a collector, that's just the way your mind works after a while.
Right.
You start analyzing things and, do I really need this, or do I really need this? So on and things like that. But it is cool to see.
Yeah. Well, here's something I definitely need. So this is a tease from NECA of the 1990s movie Hamato Yoshi with young Splinter. Now, the rumor is he may or may not be a 2-pack with Oroku Saki, Shredder.
I think they should be, personally.
They've been doing a lot of 2-packs, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and it just makes sense for those 2 characters.
Right. I was going to say, because unless you're a hardcore 90s collector or 90s movie collector,
right?
Mom and Pop are going to be like, who are these guys with this rat?
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So a 2-pack would make sense. But that's going to be interesting. I mean, look at that hand. They've been doing justice to that movie, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So can we bring up the bat from Super 7?
Oh, the see-through? Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get to that in 1 second here.
Wasn't sure where we were at.
There we go.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's part of their Super Cyborg series. The Cobra Bat with swappable weapons.
I remember when this toy first came out when he was on the cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought he was just like the coolest. I think didn't he have like different hands you could put in?
I think so, possibly.
And like they were just like pretty tough, and I like them. This is interesting. This is not what I expected it to look like. I didn't know when I read this and I saw Super 7 clear the bat. I was thinking G.I. Joe, and then it's interesting how they have like this the chest being the workings of whatever, and then the rest is all see through. How do you feel about the see through figures? Are you a fan?
The Super 7 ones, they look cool, but I don't personally collect them. I mean, they did an Optimus Prime one with the Matrix inside them. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think you have to be like, this is very Japanese.
Yes, nice packaging.
Gorgeous packaging. But like I said, this is very Japanese. You know, they're into this type, or any Japanese.
Well, even if you look at where it says Super Cyborg, the word cyborg kind of has that style of like Shogun Warriors or something.
Right, exactly. I think that's what they're going for.
They're going for.
Yeah. $75.
It would be kind of cool if somebody took a picture of that and did something with like lighting and smoke or something. I think you can come up with some, because of it being see-through, you can probably come up with some pretty cool pictures. I just don't know what, but I think the possibility is there.
And the new Rodimus Prime War for Cybertron Kingdom figure was announced. Well, announced overseas in Japan. So it's okay. It's very grizzled. Like, this is no longer Hot Rod. You know that for a fact. Just facially, he's aged. So that's kind of interesting. And then his transformation mode, or his vehicle mode, not really my cup of tea. I'm a big Masterpiece collector. I think the Masterpiece was the perfect Rodimus Prime / Hot Rod. However, right now it's scheduled to be released in August in Japan, and when it comes over here domestically, it possibly may be $80.
When did collecting get so expensive? Like when you just think between I'm going to just say the 90s, because that's when, like, as a toy collector, I guess I started collecting. Because when you're a kid, you play with toys. Between, back then, you're buying or collecting a Star Wars toy, and you're buying either a Kenner or the 12-inch dolls or whatever. And they were, some of them had prices on them, but nowadays things just seem more and more. I guess it's because there's so much work that goes into it, and
So tell us about this gentleman.
This one is really interesting. So here we got Beetlejuice based off the animated series, and it's really interesting. So I don't know if you're a fan of the animated series, you're automatically going to recognize him.
This is another Loyal Subjects.
This is actually really nice.
Loyal Subjects figures Beetlejuice.
They captured his face from the cartoon. They got the look and the color scheme down. It comes to the hands, and it's also one of the hands holding like a little bug. They got like I said, sandworm and a nice looking cane and some kind of weird looking vase or something. But he looks like very articulated, and it looks really cool. I think they're coming out with Lydia, 2 different versions.
Nice.
So one is of her in like a black outfit, and one is with that red kind of spiderweb cloak. But this was a surprise, actually. I didn't expect to see this week when I was, doing my daily stuff. I was like, whoa, Beetlejuice.
Yeah, all these like forgotten, if you will, properties are all coming back. The Crow's coming back. Beetlejuice.
Here's a property based off of a live action version. So it's not even like it's a Michael Keaton version. It's the animated version, so it's kind of interesting in a way. It's very cool looking.
And then we have these two guys, Bruce the Shark.
Yeah. And Quinn.
And Quinn.
He kind of looks like he's smiling. I don't know.
Bruce or Quinn?
Quinn, he does. He's got this funny looking machete in his hand. But you know what? It's very clever the way they shaped the shark so that he can rest on something to look like he's coming out of water or whatever it is that he's on.
Yeah, this looks kind of cool.
It's pretty smart. This is interesting. And Quint almost looks like a rubber bendy figure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is pretty cool. They should come out with a Brody and a Hooper one too. While they're at it. Just like this background, she's got like the pieces of the boat sinking. And
yeah, I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah.
Well, depending on sales on this guy.
Yeah, that's true.
So, one of my favorite animated shows, Thundar the Barbarian.
That is
a Jack Kirby drawn figures.
Did he create them?
I don't think he created them. I think he came up with the look of all the characters.
So would you say, and I'm thinking you're going to say yes, but you can just surprise me. Would you say heavily influenced by Star Wars?
Thundar? No.
I mean, like you don't see like a Luke Skywalker in him, or maybe a He-Man, but with a lightsaber, and that other dude looks kind of like Chewbacca.
Yeah, but I don't.
I always thought that.
No.
But I remember watching the show as a kid.
Because I mean, the show was like a vastly departure. But I love what was it, 1997? The whole Earth goes into ruin, so I thought that was funny.
So,
I'm thinking it's more barbarian because she's like a wizard.
Okay.
Or a magic user.
And this is different than in Herculoids, correct?
Oh, well, I could see the concept of Herculoids in this a little. Because Herculoids was more like a family. It was like a Swiss Family Robinson.
Okay, and they weren't
aliens.
Had like the Triceratops that shot rocks or something.
Yes.
Okay.
Not Igloo. Oh, damn, you put me on the spot. Tundra.
Okay.
And you know what else was kind of weird? Now, this might be a 60s, 70s thing, but their son never referred to his mother as mother.
What did you call her?
Her name's Laura. He never, and it was so weird. Like,
did he call her Laura?
Yeah, he called her by her first name, but
oh man, that's not right.
Right, but he called his dad, father.
That's a lot of disrespect being shown.
It's weird.
That is weird.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe one episode he might have called her mother, but I doubt
the Mother's Day episode.
Yeah, right. So Thundar and Company will finally be getting a Blu-ray release. I have the bootleg, which is great.
How many seasons did they do?
2, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a Saturday morning cartoon.
Right. Hanna-Barbera, right?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Right, Hanna-Barbera. Ruby Spears. It might be Ruby Spears.
Ruby Spears. Ruby Soho. Interesting.
Yeah, I think they were Ruby Spears. Now I think about it. But yeah, great show. If you're into Saturday morning, or even if you like barbarian stories, because I mean, they had some interesting stories. I love the Sun Sword. I love how he can put it away and stuff, and she was a magic user. And I love the fact that all their horses look like the same species.
Yes, they're interesting. They look like horses, but they don't. But they look like they got a lot of muscle.
There's 2 human horses, and then
That's the one that he rides, the hairy
right,
dude. What's his name? Do you remember his name?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah. So they'll be coming out on Blu-ray. And then, so here's something interesting. For all you fans of Hasbro overseas, Hasbro Pulse is coming to the UK starting in April. So now you don't have to pay outrageous shipping prices or American shipping prices to get all your Marvel Legends, Transformers, and anything else Hasbro has to sell.
That's pretty cool for them.
Yeah.
I can only imagine, being like overseas and wanting that toy and shipping costs and.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was already March 10th was the launch date, so you can get all your stuff now.
Right now, you can pause us and go.
And then our friends from the Netflix show. Wow, I'm really bad today.
The Center Seat?
Right. This is a Center Seat from the Nacelle company that created that Netflix show with the toys.
Okay.
So 55 years of Star Trek history will debut on the History Channel, created by Brian Volk Weiss. It will be an 8-episode documentary.
Can you believe it's 55 years of Star Trek?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'm not a Trek guy, but it's a long time. And honestly, why not put it on the History Channel? Because they're not really doing well with history nowadays anyway. Their shows are kind of...
Mm-hmm. There's also a Kickstarter or Indiegogo, excuse me, about one of my favorites, Voyager.
Star Trek Voyager?
Yeah, that was a great show. First female captain.
Interesting. Yeah, so if you're a Star Trek fan, that's you're gonna want to check out this show.
Yep.
And I know that the coming March 26th, keep an eye out, everybody, for you Batman 89 fans. SH Fig Art, the Tamayashi Nations, they're going to be doing an 89 Batman figure. They have not released the image yet. That will be a teaser or a trailer or some sort. It's going to be released on March 26th. So, put that on your reminders, and especially if you're a Batman fan, you're going to want to check it out.
Oh, Ookla. That was his name.
that dude's name?
Ookla the Muck.
A muck? He's running amok.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember watching the show. I just don't remember much of it. But I do remember... I got a coloring book of it. I think.
Probably. He had some items.
Yeah.
I would love to get those action figures they came out with a couple of years ago. But they're in like the thousands right now.
Oh boy. Was that the same time with the Herculoids figures as well?
Yes.
Okay. I remember our buddy Rich had the Herculoids. Did not know they made Thunder. Really, they're going for that much?
Wow. Yeah. I guess they were really hard to find.
Yeah. Or limited number or something. Good golly.
So I want to thank Brian Salvatore for our intro and outro music. Help each other at hashtag Collectors Helping Collectors if you're looking for something, or if you have something to sell. Collectors Helping Collectors. Thank you to Scott Knightlick over at Spectre Creative. As you can see, we are now on YouTube. So please tell a friend, subscribe, hit that bell. Join the conversation. Let us know what we're forgetting, especially me this week, at toyspodcast@gmail.com. We are on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and all of your favorite podcasting platforms. Please subscribe, give us a rating, or do both. Enjoy our newest top 10 podcast over in the UK, Rocketeer Radio, hosted by Ian Westhoff.
Thank you, sir. And of course, don't forget about People of Eternia.
Now on all podcasting platforms, and pay close attention to tomorrow's episode where I interview Rob McCallum, the director of Powers of Grayskull, the definitive He-Man and the Masters of the Universe documentary, as he will be talking about his latest project, Faking Filmation, the story of one man trying to make a He-Man cartoon. And also the history of cartoons, which I cannot wait.
Cool.
The Kickstarter is on April 6th, so please, if you love He-Man, or even if you love animation and cartoons, give it a try. Follow us at social media, at Twitter's, Instagram, and at Toylines. Facebook, you can find us at Toylines. For all the latest toy reviews, please visit www.toy-lines.com. I just got the Spawn Kickstarter figure. I can't wait to open it up. I just have to find the time, unfortunately. But it will be up soon. So that wraps it up.
That's it for this week, folks. I'm eating my stuff.
Play with your toys. Take care.